The only problems on the second day of the test were for the team losing the toss. The pitch was still a little soft on top, and I expect both captains would have preferred to field first, more so Mike Denness, I suppose, because he has in his side Derek Underwood, the greatest exponent of left-arm bowling on a damp pitch in the modern-day cricket world. The situation was that the first day cost the Australian Cricket Board something like $25,000. I can't feel any great sympathy for them because their inadequate covering and their inattention to detail meant that neither side could get on the field today onto a pitch firm as it should be at the start of a game. The selectors nominated their final 11s with that in mind. The Australian selectors left out Ross Edwards, the England selectors omitted Chris Old and Brian Luckhurst, and that meant that Jeff Arnold was to join Bob Willis as one of the England opening bowlers. I thought Arnold was desperately unlucky in the first session, just in that hour and a quarter where the Australian openers McCosker and Redpath were fighting so hard to keep the England bowlers at bay. They played and missed a number of times, generally at Arnold. They'd made 34 without loss in that hour and a quarter, and we join play now with Derek Underwood, that fine England left-arm spinner, bowling to Rick McCosker.
As well, McCosker in a fair degree of strife there with that one. Beaten all ends up by Underwood. Possibly one of the best balls he's sent down so far. And McCosker's pulled this away through mid-wicket. That's 4 runs. McCosker to 29, Redpath 7. The total goes to 38. About an hour and 16 minutes of play. Well, that didn't go where it was intended, but they'll get a run. We'll wait on the call. Going back for the second, yes, as Fletcher goes around to field. Yes, it was bat there, but he intended that to go on the onside and came off the outside edge and finished up out towards the gully or point position. Oh, and Redpath completely beaten by that one. Driven firmly by Redpath. There's a couple more runs here. Willis is chasing. They come for the second. It's Arnold, not Willis. And they're going back to complete 3 runs. McCosker's got this one away. Titmus is down there, but that's 4 runs. It's the end of the over from Tony Gregg. McCosker goes to 35. Redpath is 12, the total to 49. So Australia 1 short of the half century. We've been playing an hour and 22 minutes. This is the 17th over of the innings. Over number 6 for Derek Underwood. No wicket for 15. And that could be the 50 for Australia. It will be. Redpath has taken 1, going back for the second. Chasing is Amos, and they'll take 3 runs from that shot, which was just wide of Willis's right hand. 3 to Redpath, and applause for the 52 runs now to Australia. Redpath to 15, McCosker 35. The 50 up in 82 minutes. With that 3, it brings McCosker up to face Underwood. Yes, he's held caught. It came off the bat. For a moment, I thought it may have been pad, but there's no doubt about it. It's off the bat, caught by Cowdery. So Australia have lost the first wicket for 52, with McCosker out for 35. Underwood to Ian Chappell. And that could be out. Yes, he's out, caught by Knott. So Chappell is out for no score. Australia 2 for 52. And again, Underwood hitting that ball to bounce disconcertingly and beat the bat once more. Last ball of the over. Well bowled. Derek Underwood, 2 for 18, as you can see there, after 6 overs. Short, fine leg. Here comes Greg, bowling to Greg Chappell. And he repeats the dose again. That's a beautifully played shot. Out through the mid-wicket area. They're going back for the second run. Arnold in pursuit. They'll take 3 here for the shot. Yes, well, Underwood is giving quite a bit of concern to all of the batsmen at this stage. Here he goes, bowling once more to Greg Chappell. Played the shot, hit on the pad, and he's out. LBW. Greg Chappell is out for 5, and Australia 3 for 58. What a sensational last 10 minutes this has been.
There's Derek Underwood once again. He's got his flight. Pitch right up to the batsman. Greg Chappell played all-rounder, trying to hit it high over mid-wicket. His legs were right in front of the stumps, and there was no doubt that the ball would have gone straight through and hit possibly the middle and leg stumps.
Walters gets this one away, bouncing twice into the fence. It's the end of the over from Underwood. Walters is 4, Redpath 16. Walters hooks. He's got this one away. It's wide of the fieldsman and 4 runs. And that's in the air, but it's going to be safe. The fieldsman getting around to it, but it's 4 runs. His aim is right around on the boundary. 4 to Walters, goes to 13.
Nice shot by Doug Walters, Malcolm. He got his foot to the pitch of the ball with the spin, and from the spin that Fred Titmus is getting at the moment, it's going to be a very interesting afternoon's cricket.
It's difficult to see with the crowd backdrop just how far that, or how close it was to being a 6. It's the end of the over, so there will be 1 more over by the looks of things. Yes, the fieldsman and umpires taking up their positions, so there'll be 1 more over in this pre-lunch session. 2 more deliveries to go before lunch. Redpath is on 21. He's out. Well, I waited. I thought it was off the pad, but it was bat, and Redpath is out, caught by Greg. And Underwood now has the remarkable figures of 4 for 24. We'll have a spin. Is Walters at lunch, and after lunch we'll probably see Rodney Marsh come to the crease.
And Marsh gets run straight away. That's going down to the boundary. A long chase round for the deep fieldsman Greg, and he will stop it just inside the fence and get to it, and they'll come back for 3 runs. That time it's going way up in the air, and maybe underneath it is Greg. He may catch it. Let's see where Greg is. Great catch. Magnificent catch out in the boundary. That was very close to being 6, and Marsh is out. Caught Greg, bowled Underwood for 6. Australia 5 for 84.
There's an elated Underwood going to congratulate Greg. It seemed to me that Greg either misjudged the catch or the ball swung perceptibly in the air. Here comes Underwood. Big hit from Marsh, on leg stump, picks it up beautifully, hits it nicely, but too high. Up it goes, and there's Greg underneath. Now watch him misjudge it. He's got to go way to his right.
Yes, well, here's Underwood to bowl to Walters. And Walters gets a run. It's a shot hitting between the two slip fieldsmen. He should get 2 or possibly 3. They've turned for the third run now. And Walters very close to being bowled. That was a good ball from Underwood. Beaten outside the off stump. Here's the replay. Just missing the off stump. And Walters gets a run again. It's going down towards the boundary. A long chase for Greg. They'll probably just run 3 here. They could run 4 if they wanted to, but Walters will be happy with 3 to keep the strike down at this end. Yes, it was the last ball of the over, so Walters on to 23, so he now becomes second top scorer. Gives you an idea of this collapse by Australia. Walters 23, Jenner 3, 5 for 99, and Underwood's over that time costing 6 runs, one of his more expensive, and he's taken 5 for 36 off 12 overs. Now we'll wait to see how Jenner handles the spin bowling of Underwood. And a good shot from Jenner. That could be 3 here. It's going right down towards the boundary. A long chase for Fletcher. They've taken 2. They're coming back for 3. Now, will they attempt to run 4? I don't think they will. Jenner's looking for it, but it's not there. So Jenner on to double figures, going along quite well. No, yes, he is 10. Jenner 10. Walters 25, 5 for 108. And Walters a good drive. Great shot. That's a magnificent shot right down the ground. It's coming towards this long boundary. And they've run 2, they'll get 3, they'll probably easily run 4 here. They're turning now for the 4th run and they'll do it easily. Well, we could describe that as the best looking forward driving shot we've seen all day, and a very rare shot. There's the drive and a slightly over pitch ball, and Walters with a full flourish of the bat. That's one of the rare opportunities a batsman's had to drive Underwood. I think we can even count that as a loose ball.
Yes,
Walters
it
29.
was over pitched, wasn't it?
Walters 29, Jenner 10, 5 for 112. And he's hit it hard and high over the top. It's coming right down to the long boundary, and that's a certain 4. Walters on to 33. And that one kicked and jumped. What a completely unplayable ball. I've never seen a ball like that one. Well, let's watch that now. What happened there, we don't know, but I'll ask Frank if he can possibly describe that.
Well, it obviously hit a very wet, soft patch outside the off stump, and it just simply pitched and kicked and turned. Look at this. Watch it go up. Right the way up there to Knott's right hand.
Now, Jenner has hit, and it's going out towards the boundary, and that's going for 4. Well, there wasn't any polish there, the way he played the shot. His head was up in the air, but he made contact. That was the important thing. Jenner's on to 14, Walters 33, 5 for 120. And this partnership between the two has now added 36 extremely valuable runs for Australia. And a more batsman-like stroke for 4 more. That's going down to the long boundary. And into the fence it goes, and 4 more to Jenner. And that's going right out towards the boundary to Arnold. That's the 50 partnership between these two, with Jenner scoring 26 of those runs, Walters 35, 5 for 134, and a timing of 32 minutes for 50 runs. Now Walters to face Titmus. And Walters has hit that way over the top. Is it a 6?
Yeah, on top of the stand. Just
Right on
about.
top of the stand, a magnificent hit. Well, that's 150 up for Australia. That was the shot of the match. Walters to 47, Jenner 34, 5 for 154. Greg to Walters. And a full toss. It's beaten. Well stopped. They've taken a single. Beautiful fielding by Underwood. Well, he certainly saved 3 runs there. It was on the way to the boundary. I almost had the word beaten out of my mouth, but Underwood is a great piece of fielding. 50 to Doug Walters. They've taken a single. Walters 50, Jenner 35, 5 for 157. Walters 50 in 81 minutes, very fast time, 7 fours and 1 6.
Walters, that's in the air. Fieldsman getting underneath it. Will he take the catch? He's out. Brilliantly caught by Willis. And Walters is out for 55. Australia 6 for 164.
On the replay, we'll see the ball just cut short of a length. Walters not getting the pitch of the ball. The ball hits the outside edge, goes very high, and a magnificent diving catch taken by Willis just behind the bowler's wicket. It was a magnificent catch, and Doug Walters had continued in his venturesome style. He's played a great knock for Australia.
Jenner's lofted that one, but it's high over the head of the fieldsman. It's coming down to the fence. That's 4 runs to Jenner. Jenner 240. The total to 168. 6 for 168. Be without doubt some of the most entertaining cricket we've seen at Adelaide Oval for a long time. Underwood to Jenner. Then he right back and just wide of the slip fieldsman. They go through for 1. Loping after it is Tony Greig. Back for the second run now. Greig picks up and they'll come back to complete 3, and this will be to Terry Jenner. So he goes to 43. Hit on the pad. An appeal, a very confident appeal from Underwood. Could have come off the bat onto the pad. We'll have a look at that again.
Ball pitched on middle and leg. Was kept a little low, this one, to Walker. And his boot, that appeared that did hit the boot of the ankle, was right on the leg stump, and apparently the umpire thought the ball was going with the arm and would have missed the leg stump.
Jenner just flicking that one. Square on the onside. Titmus the fieldsman. 1 run the result. No, not 1 run. He was halfway down and then changed his mind. That's in the air. It's over the head of the fieldsman Willis at mid-on. That's his 50. Going back for the second run. There'll be 3 here for Jenner. Willis picks up now and back he comes to complete the 3rd run, and 50 to Terry Jenner. 50 for Jenner in 82 minutes, and he has hit 4 fours. 50 in 82 minutes. You see how close Tony Greig is there at the silly point position now. Underwood bowling to Walker. Firmly hit. He gets this one away nicely. They've got 1. Could be at least 3 in this. Chasing is Amos. Got their second. It's about 20 metres from the boundary, and that'll be 3 runs to Max Walker.
Willis to Jenner. Oh, Jenner getting a soaring bounce at that time. I think that's the first that's been bowled to him. The majority of the bowling today carried out by the spinners and the medium pacers. And the day's play has been most marked for the absence of bounces.
Yes, we did see a few in the early phases of the game in the first 3 overs, but the wicket was so slow that there seemed little point in bowling the bouncer. It was a case of the ball pitching and dropping as it came to the keeper from a bouncer.
And that's between the second slip and the gully, going right down to the boundary, and that's the long boundary here, and 4 more, I'd say, to Jenner. That's into the fence it goes. Jenner going up now to 63. He's the top scorer for Australia. Walker is 22, 6 for 220. And It's going up in the air out towards the boundary. Let's see where it goes. It's going to be 4. Yep. No fieldsman anywhere near that at all. And 4 more to Jenner. He's on to 69. Walker 23. 6 for 227. And he's beaten the field that time. He's back under his stumps and hit it very hard through the cover area, and that's going into the fence for 4. So Walker is 32, Jenner 71. And he's bowled him. Clean bowl. Jenner has been bowled by Underwood for 74. Underwood has 7 for 97, all wickets to 4. Australia 7 for 241, Walker not out 32. Here's the replay.
A slow delivery from Underwood, flighted more. You see Jenner trying to hit across the line of the ball there. It had paid him dividends in the past, that stroke. But this time he made the mistake of choosing the wrong ball. The ball itself pitched outside the line of the off stump and came in with Underwood's arm.
Well, Billy's got another one from Greg. That was the incident in the test match in Sydney where a shortish ball from Greg hit Lilly on the elbow. Let's watch the action replay of this one. And he hit that one up in the air. It's going to be safe right over the head of the keeper and down on the boundary in front of the sideboard. Underwood may get to this. They've run 3, in fact, yes. Lilly goes up to 9. Walker is 35. 7 for 253. 41's his best score for the series so far. And that might take it past, but beautifully fielded. A chance for a run out here. It must be on. As both batsmen are down at this end, and finally Greg bakes the bails off, and it's a run out. Well, a remarkable incident. Both players, they had to work out who was out. Now the umpires are going to confer here to see which player is out. Now Lilly's walking off the field, but it may not be Lilly who's out. Now the umpires must confer here. Have the batsman in fact crossed, and Walker's been given out. Lilly was well on the way, but not called to the umpire and said the batsmen have crossed. So we'll watch this very interesting dismissal in video replay again. It makes it 8 for 259.
Let's just watch movement of Walker. This is the important one. Does he leave his crease? When he does leave his crease, now that's the point, you see. He's left his crease, and the batsman cross.
Mallett's shot is going out towards the boundary. We have Arnold out there. He may just get to it. No, the ball will win.
And Lilly's pulled that one away through mid-wicket. Wait on the call. It's 4 runs. And the new ball has been signalled. Umpire Bailash just indicating to the scorers and to the scoreboard that the new ball has now been taken. You can see it. But it's Lilly in strike now to the bowling of Bob Willis. And he's hooked that high. I don't think Underwood can get to it. No, he can't. They've got one coming back for the second. It's just down near the side screen at this northern end. And there's the return with Mallett heading down for another run. Lilly seems to have, as though he's got a bit of trouble with his pad there. The strap may have broken. So 2 more to Lilly. He goes to 27. Mallett is 17. And the total to 295. Bowling. Lilly is out. Australia 9 for 295. Lilly out for 26. Bowled by Willis. And Willis takes his first wicket in this 5th test match. That's in the air, but it's quite safe. Out to the mid-wicket boundary it goes. That'll be 4 runs to Jeff Thomson, and that's the 300 for Australia. He's bowling. Thomson is out.
Well, 304 all out, and that's much better than Ian Chappell could have hoped for at the start of play after he'd been sent in on this pitch a little bit soft on top by the England captain Mike Dennis. It was a very good performance by the Australians. They fought back well, a great batting revival, and they showed themselves today, I think, to be a very, very good cricket team indeed. England, at the close of play, had made 2 without loss. Amos and Lloyd, the batsmen, and they survived 2 torrid overs from Dennis Lillee and Jeff Thompson, and it was a good effort for them to get through to that stage. I think there's plenty of runs there for them tomorrow on this pitch, which will iron out very well under the effects of the heavy roller, and it should be quite possible for England to make a good showing with the bat, providing they can come to terms with their efforts against Lillee, Thompson and Max Walker. Now, the story of today really was the story of Doug Walters and Derek Underwood. Walters, to English eyes in recent seasons, has been something of a failure, but he has played some remarkable innings, not least the one against New Zealand in Auckland last year, when on a pitch similar to the one today, a soft pitch on top, he played very well, made 100 against them and won the match for Australia. Now, today was an innings equal in merit. He came in at a very, very tough time, and at 84 for 5, Australia really up against it. He fought his way through, and so too did Jenner. Very good batting from Jenner, who's probably ensured himself a place in the Australian team for the World Cup. And then the tail enders, Walker, Lillee and Mallett, did as they've done throughout this series. They played really well. They got their heads down, and it was a good effort right down the list for Australia. England relied almost solely on Derek Underwood. He took his 7 wickets and he bowled very well, but he definitely tired towards the end, and he lacked support at the other end. And why, oh why, didn't Titmus bowl with him in that session before lunch? The ball was turning, Underwood was bowling very well, and traditionally Australians are much weaker against off-spin than they are against left-arm spin. I know Underwood bowled well, but I would have liked to have seen Titmus at the other end. I thought that, in fact, was a tactical blunder. The second playing day of the Test match began with England 2 for no wicket. The overnight not-out batsmen, Lloyd and Amos, and every prospect of England getting up around about that 300 mark, Australia having made 304 in their first innings. Conditions were very good. The pitch had rolled out well under the effects of the heavy roller. Cloudless skies, in all, very, very good conditions for batting. Dennis Lillee, the Australian fast bowler, bowled the first over of the day, and the batsman is Dennis Amos.
Amos is out. Caught Ian Chappell, bowled Lillee for no score. England 1 wicket for 2. Bowling to Cowdrey. Cowdrey pulls us over the head of the fieldsman at backward square. They'll go through for 1. That's the first runs off the bat. Chasing is Thompson. And back they come for the second run. That's 2 to Cowdrey and a great return from Thompson. 3 slips in a gully. An appeal. Lillee most enthusiastic about that. Look, Redpath has been brought back to the 3rd slip position. So 4 slips in the gully. Lillee bowling to Cowdrey. And that's just landing wide of Ian Chappell. They'll go through for 1. Held over the head of the fieldsman, close in on the leg side. That's going down to the boundary. That's 4 runs to Cowdrey. Thompson, once more to Cowdrey. And a similar type shot. It's in the air. Walker's getting underneath it. Can he take it? No, it lands just in front of him. And Cowdrey has gone through for 1 run. The 3rd over of the morning being bowled. This is the 3rd for Lillee. He's bowling to Lloyd. An appeal from a few of them behind the stumps. Lillee to Lloyd. Hood. Yes, he's out. Lloyd is out for 4, caught by Marsh off the bowling of Lillee, and England 2 for 19.
Beautiful lifting delivery, pitched on the leg stump, moving away from David Lloyd, found the inside edge of the bat, and it was a brilliant catch taken by Marsh lifting. There's once again Lloyd moving right across his stumps on the leg side, which he was showing us in the previous over, and a magnificent leaping catch by Marsh has now put England in a very, very sad position, being 2 wickets for 19.
and pulled away, backward of square. That'll be 4 runs. Walker will give up the chase. It's into the fence now. And that's wide of Mallet in the gully. It's racing away to the boundary. That's 4 runs to the England captain.
And he hooked that hard and high. It's going out towards the boundary. And that's into the fence for 4. And over the head of the slips down towards the boundary and racing across the fence here to the long boundary down there. And that's 4. We have the 2 Chappells in Redpath, Jenner and Mallet. And that's in the air. It could be a catch. Great catch. Magnificent catch by Walker. Fantastic one-handed catch. Boundary, Walker, well Thompson. For 26. Less not out 32. England 3 for 66. Thompson 1 for 22. What a catch.
Cowdrey getting a short lifting delivery, playing low again from the shoulder of the bat, and he picks the one man in the side in Australia who is probably the best high mark.
And that's a good shot from Dines. Beautifully played through the covers. That should be 4. And it's racing out to the boundary. That almost put Dines right back onto his stumps. And we must say about that ball, it was a vicious ball that Dines handled it reasonably well.
Yes, he got himself into trouble by going away to the leg side. There he goes, you see, and the ball followed him. And he was very close indeed to that leg stump because he steps back after he's played the shot. He finds himself falling backwards and only just rectifies that at the last minute by pushing with his left foot forward again. But a nasty one to a player of Dines's technique, that, with the ball following him.
Well, that one is hit well out towards the boundary, and I think that will be 4. Going for the run, that's the 50 to Dines. That's a good half-century. England's captain, Mark Dines, is 50. Fletcher is 1, 3 for 86. And that's by far his best batting performance of the whole series. And that was the end of the over by Jenner. Dines took only 80 minutes for his 50. And in the series, and the first man to shake his hand was Dennis Lilly. And here's the replay.
Backing away shot again, wide of the off stump. Dines going for his favourite square cut, getting a top edge, presenting Marsh with quite a straightforward catch.
Tony Greig repeats the dose as it comes down to the boundary. That's 4 runs. Walker loping after it. Lusty hit there from Greig for 4 runs. Cuts, that's 4 runs to Greig. Good shot. That's through the cover field. That's racing away to the fence, and that should be 4 runs. It is. Yes, he's out. Greig is out for 19. England's 5 for 130. Greig out. Caught Marsh, bowled Lilly, and Lilly has 3 for 40.
Possibly Australia's biggest problem batsman in Tony Greig. Tony Greig, I thought, was just beginning to get on top.
So now it's Fletcher at this end facing Lilly. Oh, and Fletcher had to get right out of the way of that one. Fletcher gets this one away. Square of the wicket on the onside. It may reach the fence. It's got plenty of pace on it. The fieldsman converging on it now. One of them is Walker. The other is Thompson. But it's beaten both into the fence for 4 runs to Fletcher. Not as on 5. Fletcher 37. He's not facing Mallet. Well, he's out. Caught. Caught by Thompson, and Knott is out for 5.
And caught. Dropped by Greg Chappell. And he's caught this time. Ian Chappell. Fletcher has been caught. Ian Chappell bowled Thompson for 40. And caught, brilliantly caught by Billy. Fantastic catch. Underwood caught Billy. Bowled Mallet, no score. England 8 for 156. Mallet 2 for 10. Right in front of us here, and there's a rest taking place. It's the noise you can hear in front of our broadcasting box here. And Titmus has hit that well in the air. Greg Chappell's underneath it. It could be a catch. He's right on the fence, took it well. Beautiful catch from Greg Chappell. And Greg Chappell's now taking his 14th catch, so Titmus is out. And out through the covers, that could be 4. It's a chase for Walters, and into the fence it goes for 4 runs to Willis. And bowled him. That's the end of it. Arnold clean bowled by Lilly without scoring. Willis 11, 5 sundries, all out 172.
Well, there's some very good bowling there, but I'm afraid there was also some feeble batting. It wasn't very good to watch, and it's in keeping with the way England has batted throughout this series. It gave Australia a lead of 132 runs and left them with just over 2 hours to bat. They started fairly briskly, and we have a look now at the 3rd over of the 2nd innings. Jeff Arnold is the bowler from the Cathedral end, and he's bowling to Rick McCosker.
Again, Arnold appealing. We'll have a look at that again and get Colin Egar's thoughts on this.
Went straight between bat and pad, and I have no doubt, as the umpire did also, that the ball hit the leg or trousers of the batsman. However,
Yes, we'll
now
have a
been
look
a
at it again.
conference after we've been watching the replay.
McCosker has been dismissed. Cuts, that's 4 runs. 4 runs to Redpath. And Chappell pulls this away through mid-wicket. Going out to the fence, the fieldsman won't get there. That's 4 runs to Chappell. Willis to Ian Chappell. Set one away nicely. That's racing to the fence. 4 more runs to Chappell.
Underwood to Ian Chappell. Hit that hard and high out towards the back. Could be 6. Now that's gone up to... And that's hit there. He could be out here. Knott's underneath it. Yes, he's out. Ian Chappell caught Knott. Well, Underwood for 41.
Australia began the 4th day at 111 for 2, an overall lead of 243, and England's problems were added to by the fact that Willis was unable to take the field. He suffered a recurrence of an old knee injury when bowling in the nets this morning. Well, Australia's tactics clearly were going to be to push the scoring along, England's to contain them as much as possible, and so avoid the declaration until fairly late in the day. Well, that worked pretty well from England's point of view because Arnold and Underwood both bowled splendidly in the first 45 minutes. Here in the 8th over of the morning is Derek Underwood bowling to Australian opener Ian Redpath.
Now Underwood to Redpath. And he's out. That's gone to the stumps. Now, that's a similar thing that happened to him in Perth. Now, Walters, his first ball, Underwood bowling. And they're taking a run here. There's an appeal for leg before. Now, let's see what happens here. It's going down towards the boundary, and they're taking 3 runs. Cheer for Cowdrey there. We'll see the umpire's call. Leg by a signal, so that must have been off the pad. That's... Is he out? Yes, he's out. Caught. Greg Chappell, caught by Greg. Bowled Underwood for 18. Walters is not out too. A surprise wicket. Australia 4 for 133, and Underwood has 3 for 32.
Greg Chappell moving into the drive, not quite getting to the ball, following through with his shot, of course, with the ball out of his control, sees Greg move forward to take a magnificent catch. And again, we have reason to wonder about the advantage of Greg's 6 foot 7 inches, because I feel sure that had Fletcher been there in the covers, he would have fallen at least a metre short of that particular catch.
And runs to Walters. That's a great shot. Out through mid-wicket. That's 4 runs. Marsh goes for the big hit. He's got that one away nicely. It's racing down to the fence. After it is Amos. They're going back for the second run. Yes, it may beat Amos. We'll wait and see. No, he's kicked it out. So it's 3, but they'll run 4. Back goes Marsh for the 4th run, all run. Titmus bowling his 10th over. Has no wicket for 37. Bowling to Marsh. It's nicely placed by Marsh. There's a couple of runs here. There's no fieldsman out in the deep. Chasing this Fletcher. And into the fence it goes for 4 runs to Marsh. 4 for 170. Walters in strike on 16. Marsh is 23. Underwood the bowler. And Walters away nicely. That's 4 runs. A beautifully timed shot once more from Doug Walters. And away it goes again. It could be over the top. It is at 6. 6 to Walters. What a magnificent stroke. Walters getting the standing ovation from the spectators, around about 20-odd thousand here at Adelaide Oval.
Underwood now bowling his 20th over for the innings. And Walters cracking that one away beautifully through point. That's the first one he's connected, and that's 4 runs to Walters. That's going down towards the fine leg area. There'll be a couple here, possibly 3. It's going down to that long boundary. Titmus, a long chase. They might run 4 here. Let's see what they do. They've taken 3. Titmus can't throw very well. They're going for the 4. They'll do it easily. Marsh to 37, Walters 50, 4 for 219. And he hit that down the ground, a beautiful shot from Walters, wide of the fieldsman. And there's the hook shot, and away it goes, brilliantly fielded by Greg, magnificent stop. And that was on the way to the boundary, and a one-handed stop by Greg saved it. Down to Greg, and it's going, it catches it, he's driving for it. It's over the top, is it? Yes. $50 to Rod Marsh. Marsh is 53, Walters 58, 4 for 243, and Greg was perfectly placed, and up he went into the air, but couldn't do it, and 6 to Rod Marsh. Marsh 50 in 109 minutes, 3 4s and a 6. And again, it's going up in there. He could be caught by Knott. Knott's going after it, and Knott has taken it. They've taken 2. Well, they left it for Knott. He covered all of 25 metres to go for that ball. And that's going in the air. Greg's underneath this one. He should take it. Yes, he's out. Marsh put Greg, bowled Underwood for 55. Walters not out 58. 5 for 245. A stand of 112. And Underwood has 4 for 94. New batsman should be Jenner. And that almost bowled him. Good ball.
Walters gets this one away. That'll be 4 runs through mid-wicket. Great shot. That's a lead now of 400 runs to Australia. And that concludes Arnold's 20th over. Australia 5 for 272. Walters 71. Jenner 14.
It appears the declaration is right now, Malcolm.
Well, the declaration came just after 3 o'clock, and it left England 405 for victory in this fourth Test match, and that's just an academic question. It's a question of whether or not the Australians can bowl out England in the 8.5 hours left for play. Well, the pitch was still good. There's no reason why the batsmen shouldn't be able to make a good fist of it, although they have been having trouble coping with Australia's pace bowlers in the series to date. There was a bonus for England, in fact, that Jeff Thompson couldn't take the field. He's torn fibres off the tendon sheath in his right shoulder playing tennis on the rest day, and I doubt very much if he'll be taking any further part in this series, and I doubt very much if he'll play again in the Australian summer. If the diagnosis is correct, it's the same one as I had on my shoulder in 1961. I can tell you that it took a long time to get right so that I could bowl again in that 1961 series, and in fact, pessimistically, my shoulder was never right again. Well, in the England second innings, Dennis Lillee and Max Walker took the new ball. Here's Lillee bowling the first over, and the batsman is Dennis Amos.
What? Yes, he's out. Amos is out without scoring. England 1 for 0.
This is an ideal type of pitch for Max Walker. He'll get plenty of cut, and Lloyd will have to watch him as he'll be cutting the ball away from the left-hander.
Lloyd gets that one away. It's out towards the fence, and that's 4 runs to David Lloyd. His first scoring shot. First ball he's faced in this innings. Now 2 short legs introduced here for Colin Cowdrey. It's Redpath and McCosker. 3 slips in a gully. Walker to bowl. And that's wide of Mallet. There's a couple of runs here for Cowdrey. They got their first. Back they go for the second. Mallet onto it now. They're thinking of the third. They are. They're coming back to complete 3 runs. So Cowdrey off the mark. Total goes to 8 with Lloyd 5, 1 for 8.
Caught. He's out. Caught. Third slip by Greg Chappell. And Lloyd is out for 5.
And there it is, Lloyd not getting across to the ball cutting off the pitch a good length, and the outside edge saw the ball go straight to Greg Chappell, who made no mistake.
Caught brilliantly. Caught by Mallet. And Cowdrey is out for 3. England 3 for 10. What a
Delivery once
sensational
again.
start.
Cowdrey never got anywhere near the ball as it did move away off the pitch, and a magnificent left-hand catch was taken by Ashley Mallet.
Fletcher was the second highest scorer. Just looking at the England first innings, he scored 40, second only to Dennis, who scored 51. Now that's wide of Mallet. That'll be 4 runs to Fletcher. Lillee to Fletcher. And again, we've got the situation with Fletcher backing away towards the leg side. Walker bowling to Dennis. Cuts wide of the fieldsman Edwards. That should be 4 runs. He won't get to that one. That's into the fence over on the eastern side for 4 to Dennis. Slashes at that. It's wide of Ross Edwards, and that will beat him into the fence for 4 more runs to Dennis.
That's beaten the field. It's going out towards the boundary. Edwards is after it. That's a long boundary out there. But that was so well timed. It's going into the fence for 4. And really well hit by Fletcher. Now Walker from this end to bowl to Fletcher. And is he very close? There was a dive by Marsh. He's cracked that one. Jenner's underneath it. He's out. Straight to Jenner. The man was placed there, so Dennis has caught Jenner. Bowled Lillee for 14. Fletcher not out 11. England 4 for 33, and Lilly has 3 for 10. There's the replay. Now Lilly, starting his 6th over, has the figures of 3 for 11. Fletcher taking strike. And that was a searing one. That was over the head of Marsh. They'll go through for 1. That will be a bye. That's been hit out towards the 3rd man area. That could be 4. Jenner, no, can't get to it.
Walker to Greg. Cuts it nicely. That's 4 runs to Greg. That's the shot that he does like. Beautifully executed. Walker to Greg. Hit on the pad. Confident appeal, and he's out. LBW.
England 5 for 76 with Greg out for 20. LBW to Walker.
The ball that cut back from outside the off stump and kept low, and there was the plumb LBW decision as Greg was completely beaten. So Max Walker has struck another blow for Australia now. The scoreboard showing 5 for 76.
That's wide of Jenner. That could be 4 runs. Jenner chasing, but I think it will beat him into the fence for 4 runs to Fletcher. They'll take a run. Yes, that's wide of Jenner. He's sprinting after it, but he won't get it now. That's into the fence. It'll beat him for 4 runs. 1 more delivery to go from Mallet. Then it'll be interesting to see if Chappell has a bowling change from that far end for the last over of the day. Take a couple of runs now. Lilly stretching his left hand out, but was unable to get the ball, going back for the 2nd. And back they come for 3 runs, so Knott will have the strike at this end for the start of the last over of the day's play.
England began the day, the final day of the 5th Test match, at 94 for 5, with Fletcher and Knott, the overnight not-out batsman. No one really expected them to last out the day. 6 hours to play and only 5 wickets to fall. That was a really tough assignment. And although the weather was hot and conditions were pretty much in favour of batting, it looked to be a very tall order as far as England were concerned. We join play now in the 2nd over of the day. Dennis Lilly is the bowler, and he's bowling to Keith Fletcher.
Fletcher, that's wide of the fieldsman, racing away to the fence. That's just forward of the square leg umpire, and 4 runs to Fletcher. Picked that one off his toes nicely. Takes him past his first innings score in this match, which was 40. He now goes to 43 with that 4, and that's the 100 up for England. 5 for 101. In 156 minutes. That's another nice shot by Fletcher. That's 4 more runs. Cuts, that's wide of Mallet. That's 4 more runs. Racing away to the fences. No 3rd man. That's 3 fours in this over from Fletcher. Right, for Mallet to continue, he'll be bowling to Knott, who's on 12. It's wide of the fieldsman. Ross Edwards chasing. He'll pick it up about 10 metres inside the boundary. And 2 runs to Knott. It's a good return by Ross Edwards. Knott to 14. Fletcher 51. Total moving now to 111. 5 for 111. It's all the way along the ground to Edwards. No run. Ian Chappell close in on the offside at Silly Point. Redpath, the other fieldsman, in close on the leg side. And no slip, so Knott delicately steers that one down in that vacant area. Going back for the 2nd, it's a long chase around for McCosker, and they'll come back to complete 3. Five for 114, Knott 17, Fletcher 51. wide of the fieldsman. Square leg umpire having to jump out of the way, and that will beat the players into the fence over on the eastern side for 4 more runs to not. Or will it? No, it's picked up just before it rolls into the guttering. And the fieldsman there was Walker. Slowed down remarkably in the last several metres. Good long throw in there for Max Walker. Lily to not. It's the first bouncer from Lily this morning. Not having plenty of time to duck underneath that one. It was quite short. It's wide of the fieldsman, Redpath. A long chase for Jenner, and it beats him into the fence for 4 runs to Fletcher. To Knott, rather. The end of the over from Lily. Knott goes to 24, the total to 122. 8 runs off the over there from Lily. Has 3 for 44. Fletcher sweeping backward a square, but Walker a misfield. They've got 1. I think that's all they'll be interested in as McCosker came into field. 1 more to Fletcher. He goes to 53, and it's the 50 partnership between Fletcher and Knott in 54 minutes. McCosker stationed right out on the fence at deep backward square. Should not decide to hook. And that's what he does. Can McCosker get to it? No, he can't. Chasing right around. Went out more through mid-wicket. McCosker's onto it now. There's the throw coming back, and the batsmen have completed 3 runs. It's a good stroke by Knott. That could be 4. I think it will be. Chasing is McCosker, but he won't get that one. That's 4 to Allen Knott. Ross Edwards. Fletcher in Brisbane, 17 and 19. Second test, 4 and a duck. Didn't play in Melbourne in the 3rd test, and in the 4th test he got his highest score in the first innings of 24 and 11 runs in the 2nd innings. Prior to this test match, out of the 3 that he played in, only 75 runs was his aggregate. 40 in the first innings here, and now 59 to Keith Fletcher. In the air, but quite safe. It's going down. McCosker's down there. It's 4 runs. McCosker couldn't quite get to it. He had a long chase around. It's over the head of Mallet at Gully and travelled quite quickly across the outfield for 4 runs to Fletcher.
And the paddy's out. LBW. Fletcher is out. And England 6 for 144 with Fletcher out. LBW to Lily for 63.
And that's going over the head of the square leg out towards the boundary and into the fence for 4. Straight over Redpath's head, and 4 more to Knott. He races up to 48. And England 6 for 157. Titmus yet to score. That one lifted from a length, and not a little bit lucky there, the ball going off the shoulder of the bat. But that's the first one we've seen it behave erratically off this pitch. Now the leg spin from Terry Jenner at the far end. He'll be bowling to Knott. And they'll get a single here, just pushing it to backward square leg, and that's the 50 to Knott. Knott is 50. Titmus 2, 6 for 161, 50 in very good time, 101 minutes with 3 fours. And that's about the fourth half-century, I think, that Titmus has, or that Knott has scored in this series. He's been a very consistent and prolific scorer for England. And bouncing short of the slip fieldsman, Chappell. They've taken one. That was off the edge of the bat, it appeared. I'll just see the umpire's call there definitely to confirm it was a catch. Well, we can't really call it a catch if it falls short of the fieldsman, but there was almost a chance to Ian Chappell. And that's going high up in the air over the mid-wicket area, and it's bouncing slowly into the fence, and 4 more to Knott. So Knott takes his aggregate past the 300 mark by going on to 55. Titmus is 3, 6 for 167. And that could have been a catch by the reaction of Marsh. It was over the head of Redpath. Now Walker again to bowl to Knott. That's wide of Mallets, going down to the third man area. We have a fieldsman, McCosker. They'll take 2. Knott to 59, the total to 173. And again, steered perfectly through that gap between slip and gully. That's going down towards the long boundary. Chance this time of running 3 as McCosker had to cover about 30 or 40 metres. They're coming back for an easy 3. Well, not to 62, and the total to 176 with Titmus on 5. Titmus has had 1 good score in this series so far. Had a 61 in the second innings of the second test in Perth. That's the only time he's got over about 20. That's a fine-looking shot. That's going out towards the boundary. There's no fieldsman within 50 metres of that ball, and Jenner just loping round from deep fine leg. And 4 to Titmus. That would be his first 4. He goes on to 9. Knott is 62, 6 for 180, and this scoring rate is fairly good. They've scored 86 now this morning in just on 90 minutes of play. In other words, they're still continuing to go fast enough to win the game. Well, that's through the covers, and a chase here again for Edwards. They've taken 1. They'll get 2. They might look for 3, but there could be danger if they do, because Edwards has a fine arm. And there's the reason why. Look at that throw. Titmus 13, Knott 64, 6 for 186. No run there. .90 runs this morning in just over 90 minutes, about 98 minutes in fact for 90 runs. And that's just wide of the slip fieldsman Greg Chappell. It's going right down towards the boundary. Jenner has a very long run from fine leg. He's come right across all of 50 or 60 metres, but he's reduced the scoring to 2. They went fairly slowly on those runs. Possibly it might have been 3, but it's a very hot day out there. Greg Chappell. And Mallet giving the ball plenty of air here, trying to entice Knott into playing an attacking shot. And that falling just a bit short, about a metre short of the fieldsman, that's Redpath, but got down to the ground all right by Knott. Suggesting that the way that came off the bat, it might have spun. Good one from Walker. That one's the first one we've seen Knott in a bit of trouble with batting. He's been quite sound out there. They're going, and there's the 50 partnership. Edwards had a shot at the stumps at the far end, but they're through. So the 50 partnership up in 55 minutes, which is good scoring, and it's also the 100 runs today. They've taken the overnight score from 94 to 194, and they've scored those runs in about 109 minutes, which is pretty good scoring. Now this is over number 55, so the new ball due after 10 more overs, which is about 50 minutes after lunch. That one kept very low, and you saw how not finished there. He had to keep going down to try and play that one.
Jenner to Titmus. Titmus rather will take a couple of runs here. This is Mallet chasing. Back they go for the second as the return goes into the keeper. And that's the 200 up for England in 272 minutes. 6 for 200. Almost 20 minutes of play since lunch, only 5 runs added. It's Redpath. That's the end of the over from Mallet. His 19th. Another maiden, no wicket for 30.
Jenner is going to bowl around the wicket, and it appears that he's going to have a slip in a gully. See whether he can get some fizz from the pitch, hurry it on to batsman Alan Knott with his leg spin, and see if he can get a bit of lift to get the edge.
It's in the air, but landing in front of Doug Walters.
It's now the second lack of concentration shot that Knott has played within 3 balls from Jenner, including the end of the last over.
Knott gets this one away, dispatches it beautifully to the boundary for 4 runs. Takes Knott to 78. Jenner around the wicket to Knott. And that's through the field, wide of Edwards, who's chasing, going back for the second. And they'll be happy with the 2 runs. Total moves along to 211, with Knott going to 80 and Titmus 20. Take another single, McCosker. Knott to 81. Dennis Lilly coming in close on the leg side for Titmus. Get on the pad and the peel, but not out, says umpire Baelish.
ball will lift. It's bowled right up to Titmus. It was outside the leg stump. It lifted, hit his pad. The pad is well forward, and there was no possibility of that hitting the wicket.
Again, there's an appeal outside the line of the leg stump, and Jenner most upset by that.
I would say in that case, Malcolm, that the ball hit well up above ankle high, and the pad was well in the straight line between wicket and wicket, and there was definitely worth the appeal on that delivery.
Three in a row and he's out. Titmus is out, and England 7 for 212. Umpire Baylash deliberating there, but he's out.
And here was a wrong one, bowled this time by Jenner, right on the straight line between wicket and wicket, and it turned back as Titmus went across, and there was no doubt about that one as the ball curved back and hit Titmus on the pad below the knee, and it was a sensational happening really from the fact that there were 3 appeals in a row, 2 unsuccessful and 1 in the affirmative.
Underwood in the first innings was out for no score when he was caught by Lilly off the bowling of Mallett.
Caught. Yes, he's out. Underwood is out. Cordy and Chappell bowled Mallett, and England 8 for 213. Underwood out for no score.
The game has taken a sudden turn with Titmus being delivered on the last ball of the previous over from Jenner, and now during this over of Mallett has 1 for 30 and has taken the opportunity of another wicket. Well, there's a big bat. Jeff Arnold's being presented with apparently by a spectator. Can't get them any wider than that, I shouldn't imagine, but that's something that one would like to use, and possibly it could be of some assistance, but never again. You must remember that the edges are still on it, and it may not have been any assistance.
It's in the air, but that's a good shot. It's going out to the boundary for 4 runs. To not. It goes to 85. And that's his highest score in this series in the Test matches. Mallett to Arnold. Bowled him. England 9 for 217. Arnold out. Bowled Mallett for no score.
Another tentative push forward left the gap, and once again the batsman has batted himself into trouble as Jeff Arnold pushed forward, and the ball turned appreciably to take the gap and hit the middle and leg stump. So Jeff Arnold has now been dismissed, and England are 9 for 217 with 1 wicket left, and the main interest left in the game now, apart from Australia taking the last wicket for victory, is whether Alan Knott can have Willis stay with him until such time as he gets another 15 runs to bring up his 100.
And he stumped as he appealed the stump. Not out, not out. Must have been very close. And Lilly straight away with the new ball will bowl to Knott. And it through the slips again, down towards the boundary. That could be 4. Between the second slip and the gully, and Knott goes in 98. Knott is 98, Willis 3, 9 for 233. And over the top of slips down to the boundary. That's the century. He's taken 1, coming back for 2, into the fence for 4. And Knott is 102. A great performance. A great one-hand breather. 2, Willis 3, 9 for 237, Knott 100 in 223 minutes with 8 fours. Willie to Knott. Down it goes again towards the boundary, and that's 4 more. Well, the ball's not going to reach the fence, but he's been given 4, so Knott on to 106. Willis 3, 9 for 241. And that was off the edge of the bat, but falling short of Marsh.
I think we'd better point out that nearly bowled him as well. It came off the edge of the bat, narrowly missed the off stump and didn't quite carry to Marsh.
That time it bowled him. It's all over. Walker finishes with 2 for 89. Willis has been bowled by Walker for 3. Knott is not out 106. England all out for 241. And thus Australia has won the 5th test by 163 to go to a lead of 4-0 in the series with only 1 test match to play, and that's the match in Melbourne, which starts on Saturday week. And there's Ian Chappell, the Australian captain, leading the side off, and Alan Knott there too. A great innings, not out 106, one of the finest batting efforts for England in the whole series.
Well, that's another thoroughly convincing win for Australia with something like 3 hours left for play on this final day of the Adelaide Test. When you take into account that there was 6 hours lost on the first day because water got under the covers, you can see just how easily Ian Chappell's side has won this game. It was a most demoralising thing for England. The first time a batsman has made 100 in the Test series since Brisbane, when Tony Greig did the job for England. Alan Knott's 106 not out today. A splendid effort. But Jim Laker is with me at the moment. Jim, thoroughly demoralising, I think, for England.
Oh, absolutely shattering, and if we were to look for the reasons, I don't think you can go farther to visualise it. In 10 completed test innings out here, England have never been able to score 300 runs.
That really is, it's a sad thing when you look through the record books. I don't know that it's ever happened before. Certainly it may have happened in the days of uncovered pitches, but the pitches here this time have been, well, I suppose you could call them reasonably good. A little bit uneven in Brisbane, Perth quick and bouncy, Melbourne was low and flat, and I don't think there's very much excuse here for any batting failures.
No, this, in fact, was the first bit of luck, I think, that Mike Denness had in there, and this was the most demoralising result of all, because he won the toss. It was a wet wicket, hot sun blazing down, absolutely made to bowl a side out, I thought, for 100 and 120. Derek Underwood did his job in a magnificent fashion. He got 5 quick wickets. One was looking to see Fred Titmus introduced at the other end. He had 1 over before lunch at 5 to 1. First ball turned over the batsman's left shoulder, and that was his lot until the wicket had dried out in mid-afternoon. It was the most incredible piece of captaincy I've seen in Test match cricket over 100 Test matches. I felt that they should have been bowled out for 120, and then one would have been thought they were in with a real chance to win this.
I think Ian Chappell was probably settling for 150 at that stage, if not being bowled out before lunch on that first day. Jim, what about the batting technique displayed in this game? I've been critical of it in the games gone. Do you think it improved here from what you saw in Sydney?
Well, I thought, one must give full praise to Alan Knott, a superb innings, but one must always remember that this was the first occasion that Thompson was out of the firing line. He'd only got 1 to contend with, and I think this made an enormous difference. When you think that these 2 speed bowlers between them have captured 57 wickets in this 5-match series so far, this is the real reason that England have got in trouble. Their tactics, in fact, have been pathetic. I know we've got a lot of members out here from home, and I accompanied some of them out of the ground at one stage when I saw wickets falling in such a disgusting manner. You know, people hanging their bat wide outside the off stump, and I think there's an awful lot of disappointed English supporters in this country at the moment.
Let's assume that Thompson's shoulder injury doesn't come good quickly enough, and Australia only has Dennis Lilly, Max Walker and one other, probably Alan Hurst or Jeff Dimmock, who you may not have seen as yet. Do you think that'll have a big effect on the World Cup and the Ashes battle back in England?
Oh yes, I think it will be a slightly different affair back home on the slower English wickets. I think Walker will probably bowl well over there, but I can't see that these 2 wreaking the amount of damage that they've done on the harder pitches out here. I think it will even itself up, but at the same time, we've got an awful lot of rethinking, and a few heads have got to fall after this debacle.
We've already talked about the possibility of the England side being rebuilt. Do you think it might be rebuilt under a new captain?
Well, I had a sneaking regard for Tony Greig when we were out in the West Indies last year. and he's become a thoroughly good cricketer. He's performed with a lot of distinction out here. He's well worth his place in the side. Fielded beautifully, has really tried hard with a bat, and he's only got to improve his bowling a little bit to be a really top-class Test all-rounder, and he would be my choice. I think it would give them a little bit more inspiration than they've got at the moment.
And might have the toughness to match Ian Chappell?
I think he might have to wait a year or two before he's got Ian Chappell's experience, but I'd give him a fair run now, I think.
Jim Laker, thank you very much indeed. Nice to see you out here again, and we look forward to seeing you back in England when the World Cup matches are on and the 4 Test matches against England. Well, that's it from the Adelaide Oval at the end of the 5th Test match. The story of this game, really the story of the series. England batting failures, some splendid bowling and out cricket from the Australians, but this is what's been happening all the way through the series, and it's been a completely demoralising effort from England here today.